Here. Hi, guys. Okay, so we have an eclipse that is happening on the 8th of April. And what is this eclipse? Because you guys, I am so excited because this eclipse is sitting with Mercury being retrograde too. And the activating planet of this eclipse happens to be Jupiter. And where is Jupiter? Jupiter is sitting with Mercury retrograde. So I am just so excited for this because during the lunar eclipse that happened in March, what happened was that we began this new period of shedding. We were shedding because it was activating K2, the south node. Let me show you guys by sharing my screen, and then again talking about all the zodiac signs and what this solar eclipse is going to bring for all of us for the next decade. This is a decade thing. This is not a one, yeah, it's intense now, but it's going to be a whole decade that we're going to be experiencing the umbrella of this energy. Okay, so in March, we had the lunar eclipse that closed off the chapter of October. Okay. So what happened was that the last eclipse that happened in March really closed off the chapter from the last 10 years, from the last decade of 2014, 2015, when we had the nodal axis in Pisces Virgo. That was the last time this happened. But when we had the nodal axis in Pisces Virgo, the North Node was in Virgo. So we were being asked for the last 10 years to be much more practical, to be much more logical. But all of that is changing because now this solar eclipse is going to be the strongest for the next 6 months, but it's really going to impact a decade long of people tuning into their intuition, of people tuning into their spirituality, becoming the creators of their reality that they were meant to be all along, becoming the conscious creators that they are, and being less practical, being less critical. That's why you see how this Lulu has been trending, because we have been shedding the skin of being practical and being stuck on the small picture things that we have, that's been the energy for the last decade. And now we are stepping into this brand new umbrella, this brand new energy of the collective of all coming together in order to create beautiful things, to be more in tune with our spiritual nature. So you're going to see spirituality is going to be on the rise. So just even being here, just even like understanding somewhat astrology or being on board with astrology or psychology or like spirituality or manifestations, you are on the right track because you are thinking about the bigger picture. You're no longer staying stuck on the practicalities of everyday life that's keeping you stuck in the same old, same old. So, what does this mean for all of us? Because this is a big change that we're all undergoing, and I'm just so excited for it. So do not be afraid. Do not let anybody scare you when it comes to the eclipses. Do not let anybody like tell you that this is like a really tough energy. No, absolutely not. If this is a tough energy, then it's because you got to do some self-reflection. You have to let go of your logical, of your practical, of your critical side and go more towards allowing things to just unfold as they are, allowing things and trusting in your God-given gift that you are the conscious creator of your reality, and watch how everything shifts. If you're having roadblocks after roadblocks, that is because you are controlling something. You are staying stuck in the small house. And this is not a time to think about the house. This is a time to think about your dreams and your dreams only, and then allow the house to come in for you. So let's see what it means for all of us. With solar eclipse, which will be around oh, what does it say? April 2nd. 1 minute. You have to change this 1 second. Solar eclipse is happening like around 3:55, approximately at 3:05, peaking at 4:25 p.m. According to Google. There are some other sites that are saying a little bit different timing, but that looks to be the majority. And at that time, we're going to have the rising is going to be in Leo. So the rising sign will be in Leo. The moon will be obviously in Pisces along with Sun, Venus, the North Node, and Neptune. So this is a brand new beginning for all of us that oddly enough is also impacting Saturn and Jupiter. So the signs that are mostly going to that are most I'm going to talk about every sign, but this is a very important snapshot of the sky at the time of the eclipse, because if you notice, the birth chart of it is Maga. Maga is all about the throne. And then the moon will be in Revati, which is the end. It's a spiritual knot point of ending anything that wasn't working up until now, releasing that K2 perfectionist and being otherworldly, being collective driven wealth, the star of wealth, the star of manifestations, manifesting your dreams. Mercury will continue to be retrograde, and then the day after, Mercury goes right back into Pisces retrograde. So we're all going to be like Delulu land, which is amazing. And I love that for us, because that is exactly how we get our dreams. We live from the end. We start in the end, and we don't care about how, because that was a K2 thing. Caring about how, caring about, that was more of a Virgo thing, caring about like the small little details, being critical. That was a Virgo thing. We're letting go of those qualities right now, especially ushering a brand new beginning that's going to come in rapidly in the next 6 months, you guys. Now we're going to start with Aries, rising, and Libra. Aries moons, like this last since October, you have been shedding a lot when it comes to like your work environment and what's no longer serving you, how you've been too critical of yourself and of your destiny, and also of your even physical health. This has been a time when you've had to really focus on the things that matter and really let go of anything that let go of those qualities that you tend to have, because you tend to have around like being a perfectionist in like work, or being a perfectionist, or things that have been holding you back, because a lot of things hold you back in terms of your career, because you tend to want them to be perfected before you're able to take action towards them, when that is not the way that you should be thinking right now. But all of that is closed. Maybe you've been going through some kind of litigation, some kind of like enemies or work related stuff that has been coming up. But from this moment forward, after the 8th, you're starting a brand new chapter that's really impacting your connections and your love life and your relationships. This new chapter that you're starting is going to help you like really go within and find your spiritual nature and find out deep within, like subconsciously, what it is that you are called to go after in this lifetime. The downside to this is that because you are exploring so much of your inner self, so much of your wisdom, so much of like the things that actually nourish and nurture you subconsciously and internally, expenses might be high at this time. You might get sudden expenses that come up, but it really doesn't matter, because ultimately you're going to find a way. You're going to be able to shift your mindset towards I don't have to worry about this, because I no longer have to be critical with myself. Now is a time when I allow things to come to me. I allow money to take care of me, money to be abundant around me, because it's really possible for you. It's possible for your innermost hidden wishes to come in at this time. It's possible for you guys to like really, whatever you've been manifesting for like since 2014, 2015 to come in during this period. Brand new realities in terms of love, brand new realities in terms of, or stepping into new timelines that you didn't think it was possible prior, that you didn't think were imaginable, especially in terms of like how you view yourself, healing those parts of yourself that for so long you kind of like dimmed down. This is a very spiritual period for the Aries rising, Aries moons, and for the Libras. This is a period of like transforming your external reality. So much in your life is changing, especially in your day-to-day life. A lot of you have had to take on higher responsibilities, and now this is a time when you are doing things much different from anybody else, and really people are taking notice of the both of you. Even though you're much more isolated and you're being asked in this next year and a half to be isolated, because the people who truly matter in your life, you're taking accountability for that. And you're really paying attention to who's in your life and who isn't, and who matters in your life and who doesn't. And those who don't matter, they don't matter. Because in fact, there's a lot of people who could be, gossiping about you guys. And that's okay, because you no longer care about anybody but the things that bring you happiness in this lifetime. And it might mean like going towards very unconventional types of connections, very unconventional types of relationships, or very unconventional types of people. I would highly recommend going into therapy at this time, letting go of like any type of like addictive type of hobbies that you may have, and instead tuning into the more spiritual side of life and the more and your dreams, because they're possible to accomplish right now, but you have to be very quiet, very like hidden about it, and really just like learn how to reel your energy back in. You don't have to help the whole world. You don't have to be there for everyone, but you have to be there for yourself. Because if you're giving from like an empty cup, you're never going to be fulfilled because you're giving from a literal empty cup. This is a time when you fill that cup back up. And this is the time when you may be traveling a lot and sudden opportunities are going to come to you and you're going to jump on them right away because these opportunities are wishes that you've had for a really long time. But first, you have to isolate and you have to really ground yourself by the lunar eclipse that will happen in October, closing off this chapter, September, October. You're going to either be moved, you have moved abroad, you have left the country for some of you, or you have integrated a brand new health routine connecting your mind and body connection, and truly doing it in a way that's inspiring and that's healing, not in a way that's like critical of yourself. Like you don't have to go to the gym every day. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter as long as you are viewing yourself as the most beautiful, fit, healthy human being out there. And then the gym comes in, and then the external comes in. Once you worked on the internal, remember to work on the internal. You might not see it clearly right now because Neptune is playing a big role in this. You might not see your next move very clearly, but part of the beauty of this eclipse is to not see it clearly yet. You won't see it clearly yet, but things are still unfolding behind the scenes. They're still happening. You just can't see it. And they really are happening for you guys when you let go of like those childhood wounds that you have, of those like hidden, like subconscious beliefs that you have put upon yourself around being perfect. Once you release that, and you have been releasing that, and you go more within and you stay in your like daydream world and you are unapologetic about it, everything starts to show up in your reality because people at the same time that you are attracting some enemies, there's a lot of people that are on your side, and those are the ones that matter because you don't care what people think about you. You can't care right now. The until May, the activator of this eclipse is in your first house of self. This is a major change to yourself, taking going from within outward. So you're pushing the energy from in to out. So you can really step into your most magnetic self right now and into your most healed version. So you're like in your healing girl era kind of thing, healing boy era that's going to impact you for the next 10 years. So make it count. Like, if what are you going to lose? What are you going to lose if you're, if you just go towards being more delulu? If you just throw out there that your dreams are possible, what if you just aim for the moon and you land in the stars? Like live in your head, create everything from your inside out, become the person that you've always wanted to be unapologetically. You have to step into that side of you very unapologetically because there's a side to you that's very intimate and that you don't tend to show others. You tend to mask because you're afraid of like how they're going to judge you. This is the time when you're no longer going to care about that. You're just going to be like, this is me, and those people who are with me, and the ones that are not, then good riddance. Bye-bye. See you never. And that's okay. Now we're off to the next sign, which is Taurus and Scorpio. Scorpio rising and moons. This solar eclipse is bringing in a brand new chapter for you guys in the next 6 months and really in the next decade that deal with your wishes and your manifestations and your love life. This is a big time this is the best placement for the North and South node. Really, the activator is in your 12th house right now of the subconscious. So a lot of your subconscious and work related and daily life is coming to the surface, but this is because the Lord of this eclipse is literally Jupiter in your 12th and 6th axis. But after May, what's activating the eclipses, which is Jupiter, the solar eclipse, it's going to be in your 1st and 7th house. This is from May onward, like your life is about to change completely because the last time this happened was in 2013, but but the nodal axis was not in these signs. It was in, I believe, Aries, Libra. So it was not being activated by Jupiter or Mercury. So now that it is, your life is just going to take a very forward moving type of energy that's going to be very expansive and luck driven. This is a great time for you guys. On the actual eclipse, you're going to have a lot of revelations around what you want out of your love life, what you want out of your own inner child and children, and your wishes, and fulfilling those wishes, as well as going after a brand new beginning in career, in education, a brand new beginning within your gains. This is a big time for gains and wishes and manifestations to come in from 2014, 2015. Up until now, from October until now, with the lunar eclipse that just passed, you were sort of like letting go. You were detaching, and you were letting go of the parts of you that were very critical, that were keeping you stuck in not receiving. Now you're stepping into this brand new energy that's so fluent, that's so expansive, that is so welcoming and open to receiving all of your gains. Your wishes are literally coming in very rapidly for the next year and a half, but really right now, all of your wishes are coming true. All of your wishes are like being handed to you in a platter. So make sure that your mindset is correct, that you're going into this correctly, going into this with like the right state of mind. Like, I am ready to receive everything that life, that everything that I desire, everything that I want comes to me so easily, so effortlessly, because I deserve it, because I'm worthy of it, because I am ready for it, because I can handle it. There's nothing too big that you cannot handle with this access. Viewing things in a very spiritual way is really going to help you attain all of your desires, attain all of your manifestations. New friends are coming into your life that are very expansive, that are really going to help you in your career, and that are going to help you, and things are just suddenly unfolding too, that are going to help you gain more resources, gain more money, gain more financial stability, like publishing things to the masses, giving back to others creatively. Like, you don't have to learn anything else. There's nothing else to learn for you at this point. It's just accepting and moving forward with your wishes. For some of you, this can mean more new love interests. This can mean new relationships, or just taking your current relationship to the next level, being different, just a different type of relationship. If the relationship is not taking on the next level, then it's most likely going to end, because it needs to take on a new role. With the North Node being placed there in your 11th and 5th axis, you need to take on the next steps in the relationship. And if it's not taking on the next steps, it tends to end, because there's no longer a wish that's getting fulfilled. Like, it's stagnant. And North Node in Pisces is not going to let stagnant energy to remain. It needs to move forward. It needs to keep moving so that your wishes can come in. You just have to trust that everything that you want is coming in, and is coming in rapidly. So why would you hold on to something that's keeping you down? If you know, if you knew for certain that you're going to get your wishes fulfilled in a week, but the one thing that you had to do was let go of the security thing, the security blanket, what would you do? You would let it go, because you know that your wish is coming in 1 week. So why aren't you letting it go? You have to let it go, because that's when the thing comes in. That's when the wishes come in. A lot of like the manifestations of 2014, 2015 are coming in for you guys, past lovers, past life lovers even, or past lovers from this lifetime, even getting pregnant, having children. Very possible for a lot of you guys, if that's a wish that you've always had, that you've had for the last decade, or if that's a wish that you have now. It could be old wishes or new wishes. This is a brand new energy, and this brand new energy is about creation. It's about creating everything that you've ever desired, and you guys are at the forefront of this, where everything's coming in for you guys. It can't get better than this. After May, it gets even more expansive. Any placements in Taurus, Scorpio are getting a lot of expansion, but especially for the rising moons, North Node, South Node, Venus, and uh, highest or lowest degree planet. The literal ruler of your 7th house for the Scorpios and 1st house for Taurus is sitting in the eclipse zone. So you guys are shape shifting into a new dimension. So make sure that the dimension that you're shape shifting into is big. Make sure that you're thinking big. If you think a thought think it bigger because it's going to come in much bigger, and then let go of how it's going to get to you because it doesn't really matter. It's going to get to you either way. It's going to get to you. Like this is a time when you've been waiting for this period. It's a very beautiful time. The only work that you have to do is launch your desire. Don't care about how it's going to come in. Allow it to come in, and everything in your life is just going to shift. There's no other way. With this Venus being in the mix, Neptune's all about like thinking delusionally. The North Node expanding it, and then Sun there really solidifying it. Yeah, Sun is combusted, but who cares? Because the Sun is going to give us the vitality that we need to move into this new reality that's going to take shape in the next 6 months. A lot is going to happen now, but it's going to really take shape in the next 6 months. Now we're off to the next sign, which is Gemini and Sagittarius. Sagittarius rising and moons. If there was ever a time for you guys to really put your happiness and your desires and career focus in motion and as a priority, it is now. This is the time when you are changing your image towards those things that you desire in a very illusionary type of way. If you've always had this like dream that you're meant for greatness, that you're meant for something bigger than yourself, this is a time when it's very well possible for it to manifest for you guys. For the Geminis, you are changing every aspect of your life. You're changing every aspect of your image. You can go from, being single to being married. This is a time that you can also change your completely altogether your career path, where you're thinking a lot more in a grand scale, where you're thinking that things that are a lot, like you're getting a lot of ideas coming to you in terms of like what you want your life to look like, what you want your destiny to be like. And it's possible for you guys right now. It's possible for you guys to be able to act on those things. But the thing is that at times with this energy, it can feel like it's so much, and then you don't take much action towards it. But the opportunities are being presented to you. You just have to take it. You just have to grab it. That's really all you have to do. All you have to do is grab the opportunities because they're coming at you crazy. They're coming at you, and as long as you let go of like being perfectionist, they're going to manifest. There's no other way. Your desires are coming in the next 6 months, and you're changing your image, you're changing your self-esteem, you're improving every area of your life that's going to leave behind a legacy. For the Sagittarius, it's more deals with your happiness, whatever brings you happiness, whether that's like not working or being a stay-at-home mom or being like working from home. You have to pursue those things, like thinking big in terms of like your home environment and your sanctuary and what brings you joy and happiness. If that means not working, go towards it. The how is going to manifest itself. If that means like creating a business from home or creating a more or expanding your business in some way or expanding a legacy in some way, then do that, because the how doesn't really matter. You're being asked to dream big in terms of like what you want, what makes you happy, what makes you feel most like yourself, like you're in your most private self. This is a time when you might want more privacy, and you might create like a sanctuary in your home. You might create like a very beautiful environment in your home and not want to be seen as much, but that's okay because you're creating a life for yourself that's going to pay off in the next 10 years to come. So it's a very special period for you guys. You're really acknowledging what you want and where you have sold yourself short up until now, and really go after it. Some of it might mean receiving some kind of like or viewing your career in a much different light, in a much different type of manner, where you can be experiencing like wanting to shift career paths, wanting to go towards something brand new that's very exotic, that's very different, but yet feels so out of your reach. Just know that, think big, because your desires have like they're tangible. You can touch them. They're there. You can grab them. It's possible for you guys right now in this next year and a half, but really in this next eclipse season period and into the next 10 years. Use your intuition to navigate these waters. And as long as you use your intuition and you're like in your highest, most authentic vibration, you can't go wrong. Authenticity is the highest vibration, and you're really being asked to be at your highest vibration, at your highest authenticity right now. Mercury being retrograde in your 11th house, like I said, wishes are being fulfilled for you at this time. The activator of this eclipse season in your 10th house. This is a beautiful period for you guys to really manifest your dreams. And then it's the 5th house of love and romance for the Sagittarius. So love and romance from the past is coming in right now. So good luck, you guys. Now we're off to Cancer and Capricorn. Capricorn risings and moons. So this eclipse season is happening in your 9th and 3rd axis, which is activating for you guys your courage for the Capricorns, your courage to take action towards your dreams and towards your manifestations. And for the Cancers, this is activating your fortune and also activating a new beginning in terms of your point of view of life, in terms of your belief systems in life in general. How you view life is shifting. You used to view life in a much more critical point of view. This eclipse season is going to really usher in a brand new beginning for you and bringing you in a lot of unconventional types of teachers that are going to teach you a lot about empathy, spirituality, intuition, being less critical of yourself so that you can attain your desires, so you can attain your dreams. This is a time of really going after your success and going after your wishes and putting yourself out there. If you have your own business or you wanted to get into higher education, travel, this is a time that's going to show you a lot about yourself, and it's going to help you have the courage to go after your fortune and your dreams, especially if you work like in areas of life that deal with teaching others, or if you want to work in those areas of life, or if you're wanting to get into like a higher education, or if you work in with the media, or if you work with foreigners in some way, they're going to bring you so much expansion, so much luck, so much abundance in this next 10 years, really. For Cancer and Capricorn risings and moons, so you have this eclipse happening for you guys in your 9th and 3rd axis. So especially for the Cancer risings and moons, you have been closing off a chapter from October, which already closed off, that you were letting go of a lot of things that related to like your willpower, your strength. Maybe there's a lack of like taking action towards your dreams. But now with this eclipse season that's happening in your 9th house, you're literally going to learn higher values, like higher ways of thinking and viewing the world around you. You're completely shifting how you view the world and how you view like your belief systems so that you can manifest and take action towards the things that you were kind of like having a change of heart around in the last 6 months since October. So in the last 6 months, maybe you like let go of like an old dream that you have had, and now you're shifting that mindset so that you can attract fortune, so that you can attract your desires. The dispositor of this eclipse is literally in your 10th house of career. So these hopes and dreams could have something to do with your career, especially from the time of like April, May of last year. If you were working on like a higher education, or maybe even like moving or changing your neighborhood, or something around like the strength to shift this, having the strength and the courage to eliminate things that are not working for you in order to bring abundance. Now that's going to become so evident for you that you're just going to have the courage to take action in the next 6 months, but especially around the eclipse, because this is opening a window of opportunity for you that's going to really go on for an entire decade. So this window of opportunity deals with expanding your point of views. So if you were the type of person that thought very rigidly about like the little small details of everyday life, that has to go. You have to stop focusing so much on like the critical side of life and like on the small little details, and focus more on like your beliefs, your higher beliefs, what you wish. And then all of your desires show up the moment that you trust in that. Maybe going to therapy or getting like a very unconventional type of teacher of some sort that's really going to help you now, whether that's like a coach, whether that's this astrology reading, whether that's just anything that's going to help you shift your beliefs and see your worth and see how expansive things can be when you just expand your mindset. Because a lot of fortune, travel, even moving due to like a higher education, if that's what you wanted, can happen for you at this time, especially when it comes to resources. Maybe sudden money, sudden luck can come to you. I would say just like keep in mind like your parents, like and their teachings, like maybe you want to like shift, not let go of, but shift like the beliefs that you learn from your parents. Shift them so that if they were limiting you, now expand them in a way where you're no longer being critical, but you're still taking what they said and just expanding it in a way where it's allowing you to finally be free and finally call fortune into your life. This could be a peaceful period when you let go of, you know, your limitations and you finally see like how much better life can get, how much better things can get. But little annoyances, like little annoyances that you have to cut off first might come up, especially for Capricorn. There could be some little minor annoyances, some little minor things in your neighborhood or with your neighbors that you might want to like cut off, that you feel like are holding you back, but they're really not. You're just having to like learn new ways of expressing yourself and being very different about it and letting go of any belief that was for the Capricorns, and letting go of the beliefs that um for the Capricorns, you have to focus more on your like the smaller picture things and the more of like your day-to-day environment before you go after like your big dreams. But however, this is a good time for you guys as well to get like some kind of coach, some kind of guidance, some kind of like if you were trying to get move or if you were trying to get into school, this is a good time for that. The especially going overseas, and if you work with foreigners or if you were trying to get into a program, a higher education program for both the rising, for both Cancer and Capricorn, this is the time when you actually get in. But you're going to get in through an unconventional way when you finally release the chokehold that you have on this thing that you want so badly, whether it's a dream, whether it's a career path, whether it's like fortune, whatever it may be. Once you like let go of the chokehold or find a new way of viewing it in a much more like spiritual and detached manner, it comes in, especially if you were manifesting it in April, May. And then after May, the eclipses unlock your wishes. So your wishes and creating a business for some of you, creating children for some of you. But especially right now, anything that you create, if you've been wanting to create a business, this is the time when you finally take action and have the courage to do it. Work with foreigners, work with people who are unconventional, get a coach, get a guide to help you through this because a lot of your wishes are coming true at this time. This is a really good placement for the eclipses. And there's not a lot of impact other than the impact that you have to do and the work that you have to do around your self-concept. You might not see this path clearly, but you don't have to see things clearly. You just have to keep your eye on the prize, so to speak. And this eclipse is really going to help you see that. I would recommend, you know, like keeping tabs on your parents, of course, your siblings as well. They might need from you at this time. Not that anything negative is going to happen. They might just need you at this time a little bit more. Um, like I mentioned, some of you will be moving during this period. And then by October, September, when the full moon eclipse happens, that will close off this chapter, you're going to look back and your mindset is going to be completely different. You're not going to be thinking the same things that you were thinking about now. You're not going to be as critical. You're going to be much more expansive. And that's the energy that you want to take with you for the next decade until we have the reversal. Now we're off to the next sign, which is Leo and Aquarius. So for Leo Aquarius, this eclipse season is happening in your second and eighth axis. It was really bringing up a lot of things regarding your worth, your self-worth, your money, resources, finances, stability. There could be some things around like sudden income, sudden money coming to you, while at the same time, like sudden losses, like sudden expenses, yet sudden money coming in at the same time. But it's really important for you guys right now because you have a really good window of opportunity to gain a lot of resources, land, money, finances. The ruler's in the ninth house of the ruler, the dispositor of the eclipse is in your ninth house of fortune and luck. So regardless, luck is on your side at this time, ninth and third house, but it might require you to shift your mindset around wealth and creating wealth, because a lot of good opportunities in the next 6 months are coming in regarding wealth and building wealth, building like generational wealth. For some of you, that's what you wanted. For others, it could just mean sudden money coming in and really understanding the importance of like energy and like big picture thinking and like wealth, as well as family. Like there are some family issues, or there could be some family or self-worth issues that are needing to be shifted and not focused on, so that the bigger picture can unfold. Perhaps for the Aquarius, it's more about you like really thinking about what is your worth in this lifetime and how to attain it. And in terms of like viewing your self-worth differently than you used to, because you could have been the type of person for the last decade who really assigned your self-worth to like how much how stable you were or how much money you had in your bank account. Now that's shifting. Your self-worth is going to be much more tied to your like spiritual beliefs and what you find to be what you value in life. Like, what do you really value in life is coming up for you. And some of you, this could even mean like creating a family. If that's what you really value, this could be a great time for that. Creating like a family business, or even like creating generational wealth for your family, or inheritances can come up at this time as well. Just knowing and being open enough to receive it. For the Aquariuses, especially in your self-worth. For the Leos, this is the solar eclipses really impact you guys a lot, because solar eclipse is the ruler of your entire chart. So whenever wherever the sun is placed every month, wherever it transits to, that's a very important placement for you, because the ruler of your chart is the sun. So when the sun is being dimmed by the North Node, there's a malefic influence that can be transmuted into beauty if you are able to shift it that way. But if you only are taking inventory of the negative things that are going on, then that's what's going to expand for you. So it's really important for the Leos, especially Leo moons, Leo risings, to take inventory of all the transformation that's happening in your life and all the fortune that's coming into your life, and not so much focus on the little annoyances, little grievances, little things, little minuscule things that are going on that are impacting like your finances in a way. So view your finances very spiritually, view your family very spiritually, but focus on transforming your wealth, transforming your sense of identity to a more like collective and mind-body connection type of situation, where you're thinking much more intuitively in terms of like your entire life, really. This could be a time when you might get some sudden money, or you might get some kind of like luck and fortune that you were expecting, or you might just heal from a situation that was happening back in April, May, and finally see the completion of that, of 2023, and now finally see it through and see how it's closed off for you, and really look back and examine, or something can come back up from that era as well. So think back what was going on in that time, especially what you were wishing for, what you were calling into your life and desiring during that era, because it just might come in right now. All right, and now we're off to the last sign, which is Virgo and Pisces. Virgo, Pisces, and we have here Hannah, because she's a Pisces, so she's a Pisces moon, and she's a Gemini rising, so she's experiencing this energy really hands-on. So for you guys, the eclipse is happening in your first seventh axis. So this is a really important wave that you're on right now, that's going to really take over like whatever happened in the last decade, because the last time you went through a wave like this was 2014, 2015, but it was in the opposite manner. So right now, if back then for the last decade you've been really rational, really critical, really
Stagnant.
yes, stagnant, and also like very like critical about yourself and like expecting perfection, this wave is going to ask you to release that, not be so much of service to others in the smaller way. Instead, like think about big picture. Think about the big picture of things. Think about the big picture of your relationships. Are your relationships holding you back? Where are they going? Are they like helping you, or are they, holding you back? If they're holding you back, you're gonna feel like you need to work on yourself. For the Pisces, you need to work on yourself and allow your relationships to come in a much more spiritual manner. If it's not spiritual, it's not going to work out. For the Virgos, you're working on your partnerships, reaching out to partnerships, and being less critical of them and of yourself. And then
Yeah, so this eclipse that's happening April 8th, it starts that chapter for us that we get to build for the next 6 months. So all the work you're putting in towards yourself, towards your goals, towards the path that you want your life to go on for the next decade, it starts April 8th, and all the work that you put in is what's going to be the catalyst for the next year and a half transit for this. You might also be feeling like this urge to like be a little bit more selfish. That can be something that you're not as used to, because you have to focus on yourself in a very different way now to get those goals.
yeah.
And you have to take advantage of it, because this transit is going to be really powerful for you, especially.
Yeah, like you might be feeling for the Virgos, it's like a loss of self, a loss of identity. Like before, being critical, being perfectionist really served you. And it served you well because you were very much of service, you were less selfish, and you were giving out all of your energy. Now you're being asked to like you're feeling like a loss of self because that's not working anymore, and that's not going to work anymore. You need to focus more on being a little bit more selfish with your energy and putting boundaries while still giving away, but in the big picture sense. If this situation is not adding to my big picture, to what I want in the long run, then I got to cut it off. And if it means like shutting down or releasing a part of me that was very critical, that was very judgmental, that's a good word, then be it. So be it, because you got to reach for connections, and that's what's going to bring you the most wealth, the most abundance, the most happiness. And some of you may be reaching for connections to past lovers, to exes, or very, very different types of relationships that you've never had before, like very foreign, very exotic, very passionate types of connections that you've never experienced before, or that you've experienced before, and now you really want to reconnect it in a different way. Even though you might not see it very clearly at first, the dispositor of the eclipse is happening in your 6th house. So it's very important for you guys to really take care of your health right now, both signs, mental for Virgos, and mental for Pisces and physical for Virgos. But it's very important for the focus to be on shifting your subconscious, shifting your beliefs around your subconscious, and then allowing it to externalize in your everyday life, in your daily life, in your daily routines, in your like work environment. And then you're going to see after May, that consistency that you really put in, you're going to have a lot more strength to take action towards your dreams. Some of you are starting a new business. Some of you are starting new jobs. Some of you are starting new relationships, getting married, starting a brand new chapter after April 8th for everyone, but especially for you guys. And the nakshatra where this eclipse is happening in, which is Revati, it literally is the wealthy nakshatra. It deals with wealth, and it's a wealth of spirituality, wealth of money, wealth of finances, because wealth is an energy, like a literal energy. So how wealth of love, but it could also be wealth of ignorance. It could also be wealth of toxicity, yeah, losses, if you are focused in that mentality. On the day of the eclipse, just rest, drink a lot of water. We have a checklist that you guys can follow that's really, really amazing. So make sure you're using the checklist. And
I'll also add for the Pisces moons as well, because the depositor is in your 12th house. You're going to be coming up, like as you start this new chapter, it can feel like old wounds that maybe you feel like you haven't healed from are going to come up to the surface, especially because Mercury retrograde is right there with it until the next day. So on the eclipse day, if you need to take some time, like some space, just to like let go of, which is the 12th house,
Self-care,
and release those limiting beliefs, those old patterns that you don't think or know will serve you in this next chapter of your life, that's going to be really valuable for you.
And you can do that with our checklist too.
Yeah.
Do EFT tapping and do affirmations while you're tapping as well. I would say, yeah, like try not to do too much on that day. On the actual day of the eclipse, just just rest. Don't overexert yourself. Like, don't overthink either.
Like mentally meditate, take some peace.
have peace, yes. Look for peace and know that like you working on yourself is the best thing that you can do for your future and your relationships. It's not a selfish act, like you were saying. It's actually a selfless because when your cup is full, it overflows in abundance, you know?
But Pisces people are generally not used to being that selfish in a sense. So even if you need that time for yourself, give yourself grace and patience that this is going to pay off.
Yeah. Yeah, because your seventh house is Virgo, so you tend to be very critical of yourself and your environment. So it's very important not to be like that. Think about April, May. What was going on? What was going on for you, April, May?
Last year.
Yeah.
That was when I started doing a lot of inner work and healing, actually. I started following your Patreon, getting involved with that, and then now look at me here. Now I'm working in the Patreon.
Yeah, exactly. Now, oh my God, you went from like
being a follower to like being
like
an employee.
you got out of the screen. How do you shifted frequencies? That's the Pisces energy. Like time will feel very non-linear. You have the opportunity to like literally time jump right now because we usually have like a veil of time that like slows things down, like inertia, so to speak, like driving a boat in the ocean. It takes a little bit to like turn left, but during the eclipse and during this eclipse window, that inertia is almost like gone. So like things are coming in a lot faster. So it's a really good period to like manifest your timelines, go into the timeline of your wish being fulfilled, because this is the time for that. And even for the next decade, we're going to be thinking more big picture and less like being critical of ourselves, of our environment.
Very good.
Anything else you want to add?
I don't think so.
Okay. Mercury is a dark arca, and Makarga is Jupiter on that day. Mercury, Jupiter together.
Oh, it's
and then K2
worth as well.
Yeah.
Learning about your self-worth.
Oh yeah.
Focusing on that.
Focusing on your self-worth. Yeah.
Because Saturn
Oh,
starts are what.
yeah.
So Jupiter is the second placement from that.
That's true. So it's like self-worth and also building like wealth and legacy and abundance, resources. Resources will be very important for you guys. You have the ability to like build on a lot of foundational things that are gonna add to your future, especially when you work on your self-worth and your confidence.
Yes, and understanding quality over quantity.
All right, then.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed this and bye. Let us know. Happy eclipse. Let us know how it went. Bye.